Hey everyone, Laurie here for Paper Tray Inc. I'm hosting this week's Make It Monday video tutorial, and it's all about color blocking. I'm going to be sharing 3 different ways to incorporate color blocking into your card making projects. Okay, to get started on my first card, I am going to be using one of the images from the brushed off stamp set. I chose to work with the skinny rectangle stamp. I wanted to show you how I like to line these images up, especially when stamping multiple. I didn't want it on the edge of the card. I wanted a little bit of white space. So I drew a pencil line, a very light pencil line, about 1/8 of an inch from the top of the cardstock. And I turned it around. I'm going to be working upside down because I find it easier to line those up. So I'm going to place my image right up next to the medium pink that I've already stamped. And using the pencil line as a guide, I'll line that up. I'm going to be stamping my lighter pink now. I'm going to move this over so my paper doesn't come up when I stamp. So I'm going to be using my lighter pink, the Lovely Lady pink. I like to use my Misty for things like this because I stamp 2-3 times to get a very saturated, opaque look. Now, I would probably line these up a little bit better, so just for the video purposes, I'm going a little bit quickly, but you won't even notice this when I have my, my focal image on the card. I'm going to be stamping now. I'm going to stamp my darkest pink right here. Again, lining it up to the edge of the medium pink and using the pencil line as a guide. So now I'm going to be stamping Raspberry Fizz. I've really been on a pink kick lately. I love the bold, bright pinks that Paper Tray has. So there we have a gradient color blocked background that you can add really anything to make your card. To complete my card, I used the butterfly from Life is Beautiful, and I covered it with glitter and added a little bit of sentiment. Okay, the next card I have to show you is using watercolors to color block your background. Start with a watercolor paper and some watercolors. This is a very quick and easy way. So if you're not comfortable doing a lot of watercoloring, this is something that you could do very easily. I'm going to go on to my next color. Now I'm going to be not blending them very much. I want to see the 3 distinct colors. Now I'm going to go into my dark blue. Using a paper towel, I'm going to just get this excess water here. Now you can see that there are 3 definite lines. I don't want quite as much of a line in between mine, so I'm going to just blend this just a little bit. And there you have a color block watercolored background. Finished my card. I splattered on a little bit of a sand colored ink for the background, and I used the cloche quarters to create a little backdrop for the sailboat. The sailboat is from the Cloche Quarters Summer Fillers. Such a cute stamp set from Betsy Veldman. And the sentiment, I embossed one of the sentiments from the pen and ink, and I did a little bit of shadow stamping so it would stand out a little bit. Another way to do color blocking using ink is to use your ink pads. So I've got an acrylic block, kind of a large acrylic block here, and I chose 3 colors. The first one I'm going to be working with is the fine linen. Just really, I pounce it on there, and you can see that there's definite pad lines, so I go over it again, kind of softer. It just helps blend those lines out a little bit. My second color I'm going to be using is Aqua Mist. I actually blend right into where I stamped with my first color. That's why I usually start with my lighter color first. I haven't noticed it ruining my ink pads, so don't worry about that. My next color I'm going to be using is Blueberry Sky. Here you can definitely see the pad lines, so I'm going to want to blend those out a little bit. When I spritz this with water, that's going to help. Sometimes when you can see those, I like to come in here again with the middle color and help blend that out a little bit more. And I got a little mister here that I'm going to spritz on some water. I don't want to soak it too much because then my paper will warp. I just give it a second to soak into the cardstock. And I like to use a paper towel to kind of soak up that extra color. So there you have a blended color blocking way that's quick, easy, and if you're not comfortable watercoloring, this would be a great way to achieve that look for you. Okay, the third and final way of color blocking I'm going to show you today is to use cardstock. Like I mentioned earlier, this is definitely my favorite way. I love everything about this. The bold, separated lines is so appealing to me. Now you don't have to cover a whole card base to do this technique. You can use strips of paper, you can use circles, you can use rectangles, squares, just really the possibilities are endless. But this time I'm going to be using the whole card base here. So I started by trimming a white cardstock to 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And for the base, I know that I'm going to use Raspberry Fizz on my base. So I trimmed it to 4 inches wide. And I'm going to just add it right on the base of my white cardstock. I know it seems kind of silly I'm covering my whole white cardstock up, but I'm going to show you how I kind of cheat when I add my other strips. So the white actually gives the guide for me. So I've got 2 other strips. I just got these from my scrap pile. I've got Harvest Gold and Lemon Tart. So I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of this. I don't like to measure really. I'm an instant stamper. I love the gratification that it offers. So I just kind of wing this. And you notice my pieces are large enough to hang over the edges. And now I'm going to do this with the very top piece. So I've got my lines here. Now this is my cheater tip that I use, is using the white cardstock as a guide. Just trim. You can also use your paper cutter for this, and oftentimes I do, but it's really large and noisy, so I didn't think you would want to hear that right now. So there we have a color blocked background. So easy, but yet the result is so striking. And how I finished my card is I used the new Fruit Salad Citrus die set, which is so fun. Oh my goodness. And one of the sentiments from the Fruit Salad sentiments, I embossed it in black, and did a little bit of sponging on my die cuts to get the variegated look, which I love. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you get a chance to try out one of these color blocking techniques. This has been Laurie Schmidlin for Paper Tray Ink.